Good day, my name is Robert Dinas, a student nurse from UNESCOS, and today I'm going to tackle about STD and safe sex for my friends. First, he is CJ Villanueva. He is also currently studying from UNESCOS. Second is Tanib Sandoval. He is currently studying in De La Salle, Bacolod. And lastly, Kenny Delfego. He is studying from FEU Manila. So I'm going to ask any different question about STD and safe sex, guys. So do you have any background knowledge about STDs and safe sex?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So now let's proceed to our topic today. I'm going to play the video, so please watch.
Sexually transmitted disease.
The meaning of STD is sexual transmitted disease.
Are infections that are passed through sexual behaviors with a person who already has an STD when body fluids from one person come into contact with another person. Some STDs can be cured, while others can only be treated. Many are no big deal if they are caught early, but some can have very serious effects on the body. How to avoid them.
Remember, you can only get an STD from someone who already has one. And since they are pretty common and don't show any symptoms, you usually can't tell if a person has an STD just by looking at them. And anyone can get one, even if they've only had oral, vaginal, or anal sex just one time.
So, para magkaintindihan, ito ninyong mustorya na lang ko o binisaya. So, ang ginaminday dara sa ato ang video kay ang STD, kay makuha na to siya ang sakit kung kanang imuhang ka-sex is kanang present po sa iya kanang sakit. Ikaduha, kanang STD is very common lagi diyang symptoms. Makita lagi nimo siya, matakol na derarog unsang mga symptoms. And lastly, can tell if someone has one for looking. Di mo makita ang kanang sakit kung imo ra siya lang tawon, like kakakita mo emotional tao di ka kaingon nga nagig siya sakit nga na og kita niyo tanan pwede magka STD. Okay, let's proceed.
So the only way to avoid getting an STD 100% for sure is by not engaging in any kind of sexual behavior with another person, which is sometimes called abstinence. Getting tested before having sex and limiting your number of sexual partners can really help too.
So, ang mga, paano din nato maabot ang STD class? So, dapat ko no, regular check-up ta, and also mulimit ta sa atong mga partners kay para dili ta makakuha ginahan ng sakit.
Their values and beliefs. Or just because we already have so much going on, and a sexual relationship can be really complicated. Other people might wait because they haven't found someone they want to be intimate with yet. Some people choose to engage in behaviors that don't include oral, anal, or vaginal sex. This includes things like kissing, hugging, massage, or mutual masturbation. Basically, any activity that doesn't involve skin-to-skin contact of the genitals, anus, and mouth, and won't share sexual fluids like vaginal fluids, semen, and pre-cum.
Ew! Please stop listing fluids!
Now, if you do decide to have sex, there are specific things you can do to practice safer sex and reduce the chances of you or your partner getting or spreading STDs. Some examples of safer sex include limiting the number of sexual partners you have, getting tested, talking with your partner about your sexual history, staying away from drugs and alcohol, and educating yourself about STDs, like we're doing now.
So, ang pinaka-best way ko no class para ma-avoid na to ang kanang nga sakit which is the STD is first is i-limit na to atong partners. Ikaduha kay dapat maging matesta if present sa tuang lawas ang kanang nga sakit. Ikatulo dapat open mo sa inyong partners about anang inyong issue, and avoid na to ang pagsigig drink og alcohol nga magsigig tag inom og alcohol. Og lastly is educate na to atong kaugalingin about aning nga sakit. Play na to this song.
Use a latex barrier to help prevent fluids from one person coming into contact with another person. Most people know about external condoms, but you can also use internal condoms, which are inserted into the vagina, or dental dams, which are used for protection during certain types of oral sex. If you use these barriers correctly and consistently, they can go a long way to protect you and your partner from STDs.
So, pwede na to nga magamit sa safe sex, which is the latex barrier. First is the external condom. Mo anong ginagamit sa to ang papa, ang ginabutang siya mga murag rubber. Kadua ka ng internal condom, mo na siyang ginabutang sa vagina sa to ang mama, which is kanang safe na siya para gamiton.
Safer sex doesn't mean there's no chance of getting an STD. But if you're going to engage in sexual behaviors with another person, it's important that you both use these methods to reduce your risk, along with getting tested regularly for STDs. And no matter what you decide, remember to communicate clearly with your partner. Terms like abstinence, intercourse, and sex mean different things to different people. So you need to make sure you're on the same page.
So, in conclusion, think about what works for you when it comes to sex and STDs. Remember that not having sex is safest. If you do have sex at some point, make sure to practice safer sex to reduce the risk of STDs. And communicate with your partner so you can each protect each other.
So, ang ginapasabot nila sa atong video class is kanang atong gid ko na una-unahan og unsang para the best kuno para sa to ba. Dapat dili ta magpadalos-dalos, like kung unsa ganahan karon mo ring ubraw, dapat kuan ka presence of mind ang nasa imo. At so having not sex, no sex is the safest gid kuno. Kung di ka makakuha og kanang sakit kung wala ka, dili ka present sa sex, or dili ka kanang like always kaga sex ba, mas better nga wala di kuno kaga sex. O ikatulo ang practice safe sex, which is gitako lang to ganina ang kuan tag external and internal condoms. And last is to communicate with partners. Gid mao ginang pinaka dapat o importante ginato nga brahon. Kay dili man ta naman ko ang kanang STD sa kanang mga lantaw-lantaw na pare sa tugan sa gitapik na to ganina ba, dili mo siya makuha kung lantawon ra nimo siya. For example, si Mr. Rodel, lantaw nimo siya na siya STD, dali na ka mo lantaw niya kayo basi matakdan kasi STD, so wrong gina siya kayo. Tapos ang kanang STD is permi gina siya makuha sa mga gay, kay kanang present permi sila kanang anal sex, like kuan kana paging magkuan ka mag blowjob, which is makakuha ko kag STD. Kaya ang kanang sakit sa kanang internal ang ano sa lalaki, organ sa lalaki na imong kuan nun makakuha ko kag inyong anak class. So kanang humana lang ta sa STD class no, na-educate ba tamong tulo about sa STD. So karon ang topic na po ta sa kanang safe sex for teens, which is common sa inyo kay balik. Based na ako ang video.
Taking care of your sexual health. Why is it that sexually transmitted infections, or STIs, continue to be a problem among teens and young adults? It's not a question of whether teens are having sex. By 12th grade, 65% of high school students will have engaged in sexual intercourse, and 1 in 5 sexually active teens will have had 4 or more sexual partners. These numbers continue to rise after high school. Among teens and young
Sexually transmitted infection, or STIs, continue to be a problem among teens and young adults kanong class. Ang kanin ko ng STI, which is kanina STD, diba to? Parang STIs na po. STI. Ang common ko nun kay sa ato, ano yung mga teenager, kano ba? And young adults, which is kita. Next na to.
young adults, It's not a question of whether teens are having sex. By 12th grade, 65% of high school students will have an
65% of the high school student will have had a sexual intercourse by grade. Kaya para sa to ba mga kuan, mga grade school pa ninyo ba like musugod gina ang kanang ato ang murag gusto na to mo try aning sex ba which is high school ta mangtod sa grade 12 dire ko ta present kay which is 65 to 100% ang kanang murag nagkakahitabo kuno ka present ta ninyo mga teenagers sa STIs.
engaged in sexual intercourse, and 1 in 5 sexually active teens will have had 4 or more sexual partners. These numbers continue to rise after high school. Young people aged 15 to 20 continue to rise after high school. These numbers continue to rise after high school. Sexually active teens will have had 4
Sa 5 kuno ka mga teens nato, naagi ko na yun sa active gid kay siya sa sexual ba. Na imagine niyo sa kadaghan nato ninyo mga teens nagi usa nga
or more sexual partners. These numbers continue to rise after high school. Young people aged 15 to 24 represent only a quarter of the sexually active population, yet they carry almost half of all STIs out there. In fact, 1 in 2 sexually, yet they carry almost half of all STIs.
Teen or young adults age 15 to 24 kay ga-carry na ang kaning sakit, ang kaning STIs, imagine na 15 niya to 24 so daghan ni kayo ano nga sakit
Guys out there.
Kay 15.
In fact, 1 in 2 sexually active teens and young adults will get an STI before they are 25. But only 12% of sexually active teens and young adults get tested, which
Only 12% who are sexually active to get tested. Yes, kasabot ng muro tagun sana.
which means a person with an STI may not know that they are carrying an infection. STIs don't always infection. That they are
Important kay ni a person with an STI may not know they are carrying na infected na sila kanang wata kabalo ba na kanina sakit na din sa tong lawas kay kanang murag kuan kay siya dili siya niya to may baon kung naata present sa tong lawas ni
carrying an infection.
infected na ta.
STIs don't always show symptoms. It's possible to carry and spread an infection even
Ang kuan ko ng STI kay kadalasan gid ko na wala ka carry og symptoms o takabalo kani mga sintomas.
if you feel completely healthy. So it's very important to get tested if you are sexually active, not only to prevent the spread.
So kung kamo mga soltero mo dapat kanang kuan kita na maging tested ta ni sa STI kay basig na ata ni kay di ta kabalo nga present ni sa ato ang lawas.
Spreading of these infections, but also because untreated STIs can add up to serious health problems.
So, dito na nato ikuan no ang STI ko no kay kahitabo ko na sa ato ng mga teen. So, kana ko ng STI kay wala ko na kabalo nga present is atong lawas. Last binagid kita ninyo mga teenager active man kita sa kaninong mga activities open-minded daning activities. So, kung kamo active mo dapat magpa-test kung mo kay basic present ni sa atong lawas ng STI no. So I'm already tackled about the STI and STD to my friends which is my students. So lastly, thank you and goodbye.